8 years ago, The Binding of Isaac was added to my Steam library and I fell head over heels for it. Joining the other two non-Minecraft games I actually cared about, Edmund Macmillan's indie classic changed my perception of what a video game was for the rest of my life. The game doesn't just tell you to beat the next boss, it tempts you to find the perfect combination of items and whoop that boss's ass so hard that you can't help but laugh the next time you see it. I still remember that time that I got the Polyphemus plus Mutant Spider combo and shot this insta-kill shotgun death ray at every doofus who ended up in my path. That's an experience so awesome that I still think back to it today. Not only was the original Isaac a blast, but the concept was nothing short of ingenious. In an age of games that reveled in their own cool badassery and gritty realism, turning the formula on its head to make a game about a kid killing monsters by crying on them couldn't be more of a breath of fresh air. So last year when I saw that the game had a remastered version, which came out like 7 years ago, I knew I had to try it. And honestly, it's everything that worked about the original game but better. Better balancing, better monsters, better bosses, and a whole lot more new stuff to play with. I played the hell out of Rebirth, and after long enough, I figured it wouldn't hurt to go pick up all the DLCs, the most recent of which was released in 2021. Truly, this would be the authentic Isaac experience. After all this time, I was finally caught up with the series, and ready to find out what 6 years worth of DLCs had to offer. So how do I feel about them? Well, it doesn't really matter, because I got into the Gungeon a week later. I meant everything I said about Isaac. It's a wonderful little game, and I've gotten a lot out of it. But, it's not perfect. If you ever played The Binding of Isaac, then you know this. And this sucks. At its best, Isaac is a deeply creative game that taps into elements of both RPGs and bullet hells to make an experience that leaves you glued to the edge of your seat. But at worst, it's a particularly janky dungeon crawler with inconsistent balancing, outdated mechanics, artificial difficulty, and quite possibly the worst shop system in any video game ever. It's a game with a really solid foundation, but it fumbles on those little nagging design oversights that get more and more annoying on each consecutive run. Gosh, I just wish I could play a fundamentally similar game that addresses all these problems through thoughtful mechanics and creative design choices. Enter the Gungeon is roguelike dungeon crawling polished to an immaculate degree. Instead of drip-feeding mediocre upgrades in between grindy static rooms, Gungeon drops you straight into a vibrant, diverse bullet hell, and I mean bullet hell. The money is bullets, the health is bullets, the bullets shoot guns that shoot even more bullets. I mean, check out this lineup. You got the Big Iron, you got the Bubble Blaster, the Shock Grub, the JK-47 is an AK with boner problems, the Rad Gun does this when you reload it. You got the Dinosaur Skull Gun. Excalibur is a gun if you'd believe it, and brace yourself, you're not ready for this. They even got the banana. Yeah, but I've had my turn. How about I let the game do the talking? A good game isn't about its destination, but what you go through on your way there. That's why Minecraft is fun, and competitive Overwatch is one of the worst experiences in modern gaming. In the case of Gungeon, it's little guys like these who make getting your ass kicked a fun and engaging experience. Gun sharks, hollow points, rubberkins, muzzle flares. The enemies of the Gungeon are vast and diverse, making every room its own little obstacle course. In any given encounter, you are making so many decisions at once that the concept of boredom becomes a distant memory. When do I dodge? Which enemy do I target? Which ones do I avoid? Can I knock them in the pit? Are there traps? Are there stage houses? Are there giant death hammers? All of these factors work to keep you engaged in even the most basic of combat encounters. Now, pull me up a late game encounter in Binding of Isaac. What's my brain going through while I fight these guys? Don't fall asleep out of boredom, and hope I get a room drop that doesn't suck. Hey, there you go. I feel like this fundamental concept of destination versus journey is one that's completely lost in the design of Isaac. A room isn't an excuse to waste time, it's part of the experience, and when you treat the experience like it's just there for the sake of it, the player's gonna feel that. I know it's easy to take so much space for granted, but when you go above and beyond to make every part of each level meaningful, that's when you've made something special. I think one of the biggest things that I noticed on the shift from Isaac to Gungeon was how much more features get packed into each one of the Gungeon's rooms. You've already seen the tables, the chandeliers, but that stuff's just the tip of the bullet-shaped iceberg. I seriously cannot believe the amount of effort that's been put into every piece of content for this game. One of my favorite side features is the Master Round, which is generally where you get most of your extra hearts. If you beat a boss without taking damage, you get a Master Round. Boom, free heart container. But don't forget that they combo with the Plasma Pistol from Halo to make it a machine gun. Or you can use them to unlock elevator shortcuts. Or you can sell them to go to the RNG department where all the bullets have doofy outfits. Now think about all of the content that's connected to this one item. Imagine that for every single weapon, upgrade, and piece of equipment in the game, and you're starting to get a sense of scale for how hard Enter the Gungeon goes on its own premise. But as with any rule, the most powerful thing you can do is break it, which is why the most awesome gun in the game is actually a baseball bat. Gungeon knows exactly when to play it safe and when to introduce a dog that puts you into speed mode and speaks only in knockoff Sonic quotes. And that willingness to push the boundaries and get weird is what constantly drives you to find out what's behind the next door. Aw, crap. For as much as I put the game down, I'm actually a pretty big fan of Isaac. It's a longtime classic of video game culture, and it's earned that title, but I'm hard on it because I know it can do better. The developers seem like they're still hanging on to an ancient formula that worked in 2011, but it just doesn't fly anymore. Come on, take some risks. Get crazy, get stupid, fix the things that suck and polish the things that rock, and people will notice if you try your best. Maybe it takes a little patience, and maybe you gotta risk looking like a dumbass for trying something new, but they'll notice. Thank you for noticing. Also, I know I started and ended this video talking about Isaac, but I just want to add that you've got to play Enter the Gungeon. It's seriously awesome, I love it to death.